Howdy and welcome to Board Games for One. I'm Mike, your board gaming every dude. And today I need to make room in my collection. So I am calling 25 games that I am trading out, but I want you to know what they are so that you can decide, is this a game that would be good for you? So let's start out with Exit. Exit the game. This is an escape essentially, and this is the Mysterious Museum. I have not actually played this, which is one of the reasons that I'm trading it. However, it is a solo game. It's best played cooperatively. I enjoy escape room box games by myself, but it's also quite a bit of fun to do it with others. Something to know: if you get this for solo play, you will not finish it within the time limit unless you are amazing. So know that ahead of time, be kind to yourself, and enjoy it. But since I haven't played it, and I've had it for over a year, that means I want someone else to enjoy it. So I'm going to pass it along. Okay, this one here is not a solo game. This is Coup. And I bought this because I wanted a party game that had some social deduction, betrayal type things in it. So in Coup, you're basically working for a rebellion or not for the rebellion, two separate teams, but nobody knows who's on each other's team. So it looks like a lot of fun, but it's just not going to come to the table. That does not have a solo mode. This was a cool game here. So this is Bristol, which one? Bristol 1350. If you see me looking down, I'm checking my microphone battery, so just so you know. Okay, Bristol 1350. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. So in this, you are in Bristol in the year 1350, and there's like a plague, and you're going around in these little carts to try to escape the city before the plague takes over. Now, it comes with a solo mode. And the solo mode was great fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'm not sure why I'm not motivated to keep it, other than the playmat is kind of small, which is great because for travel. For some reason, I'm thinking that's a downside for me, though. But I just know I'm not going to play it again, so I want someone else to enjoy it. I really think this shines best in a large group. Probably the more the merrier, like 6 people. I think that might be the problem. Solo mode is fun. I'm so glad they made it. But since I'll never get it to the table with my friends, I want someone else to enjoy it. This one's interesting. Alexander Pfister's Monster Expedition. So, look, the reason I got this is I made a video on the best adventure games. And I wanted to have a 4th game because I only have 3. So I went Barnes & Noble. I was like, $20, Monster Expedition, looks like an adventure game. Alexander Pfister, I've never played any of his games, and I hear about him, so I thought I should try it. So I bought it. Here's the problem. I have never played it. Granted, I've only had it for 3 months, but I haven't played it, and I just don't have a desire to play it. It comes with the solo mode. I'd rather somebody that is maybe an Alexander Pfister fan or wants this game to play it, so I'm going to trade it along so someone can enjoy it. You'll see most of the games that I'm trading off, it's not because they're bad games at all. It's because they're good games, and I want people playing them. I don't need a large library of games sitting around. There goes my coffee. Violence to coffee. Oh my goodness, don't file a complaint. If you would like to buy any of these games, I am trading these to Noble Knight Games, but you can also get them new from your local game store or from my affiliate links below. Please. All right, cool. Anyway, so next one, yeah, we'll do this next. Paperback Unabridged, but it's an expansion pack. Here's the thing. I didn't know that, and it doesn't tell you on here. Yeah, it doesn't tell you. It does not tell you on this box that it's an expansion. So I thought I was buying paperback, but it's an expansion and you need to own paperback to get it. Well, I bought another game called Hardback, and it turns out these are wonderful games. The hardback comes with a solo mode, even though it doesn't say so on the box. I don't know if paperback does. But anyway, point is, I didn't like hardback enough to want to now buy paperback so that I can play this expansion. So this needs to go to someone who has the base game already. Another interesting one. We'll do some small boxes first. For the Queen. For the Queen is actually a role-playing game, and I got it because I wanted to have a role-playing game in my collection for when I have people over. You can actually do this by yourself. You can create your own story. I don't enjoy it, and I don't really have friends that are going to enjoy crafting this story. So the story is, I'll just read the back here. It's that you and up to 5 other players can begin playing in minutes. You choose your queen, and then you follow prompts to tell a story. So you turn a card and it says some kind of event, and you create a story for your character related to the queen, and you keep going around and around, and you build a story. You don't win or lose it. Yeah, it turns out it just wasn't quite what I thought, and I'm not going to use it. So, role players, please. All right. Let's do Walking in Burano. How's my mic? Good. Still green. All right. Walking in Burano. This is a beautiful game. This is super cool. I highly recommend this game by AEG Games. The artwork is lovely. So you are building these buildings in Burano. You're renovating a street. Starting from the first story, you're building buildings up all the way to the top with these beautiful colors, trying to bring in tourists and guests. And it comes with the solo mode that I enjoyed. I played it 3 times. I try to play at least 3 times before I form an opinion. I played it at least 3 times, and I just know I'm not going to play it again. And it's not because there's a thing wrong with the game. It just isn't my style. But loved it. Check it out. All right. This game, people love this game. So this is Cartographers. I have only played this solo, and there's a new game, Cartographers Heroes, I think, something like that, that came out. So here's the thing. I got it because I heard such good things about it. And it's a game where you are a cartographer drawing out a map. So you've got a pencil and paper, and depending on how the cards are flipped, you're trying to draw these shapes to create a landscape, and then whoever basically finds the best landscape for the queen, well, you're the best cartographer. And there are little hiccups that can happen. You can run into goblins and they'll mess up your plan. And I'm talking about solo mode here. Great game. I didn't like it, but not because anything was wrong with it. I just didn't enjoy it. So maybe that's because the solo, playing as one player, it's not really a separate solo mode. You play the exact same way just as one person. And maybe that's what's lacking. Maybe this isn't a good solo game. Maybe it's best with 2, 3, 4 people. That really may be the issue. I wouldn't personally recommend it for solo. But if you have played it solo and you like it, please let me know. Put it in the comments and let me know why. Because I wouldn't want to discourage someone from... It's a good game, but for solo, not so much. All right, let's take a look at we'll get to this after. That's an expansion. Oh, here's a big game, The Crew. This is not a solo game, doesn't come with the solo mode. I haven't found a fan-made solo mode. Don't have a desire to make one. I don't like this game, all right? And this is like one of the hottest games out. Like, people love this game. It's a trick-taking game. So I think if you like trick-taking games, this is fantastic. I learned I'm not into trick-taking games. If somebody else has The Crew, if somebody else wants to play a trick-taking game and it's in their library, I'm going to play it with them and have fun. For solo, I'm not going to try to make an experience, and I don't need it in my library because I just don't like trick-taking games. I was bored. I don't like it. But everyone else loves it, so it's a wonderful game. I don't like it. I was bored to tears. And I played with others. I played this with 3, 4 other people. Don't like it. This one, Nemesis Carnomorph expansion, I should have known from the artwork, it's just not for me. The artwork is quite gruesome, and I like Nemesis, I really do. But I I don't like the gruesome part. So this one just took it over the top for me. I don't really like having it. So yes, if you're okay with that, that's your thing. It's not for me. Okay. Star Wars Unlock. Another escape room in a box. Looks super cool. There are 3 campaigns in here. There's a tutorial and 2 campaigns, I believe. I have not played it. I actually bought this so I could do it with a buddy who's a big Star Wars fan, but it's just not going to happen. So since it would just be me doing it by myself, there are other escape rooms and themes that interest me more. So I want this to go to a Star Wars fan that wants to enjoy it. All right. The escape room in a box I did, I think it was Unlock, and it was the Nautilus, something like the Nautilus, and it was awesome. I absolutely loved it. I mean, the idea sounds boring, you know, for Unlock and for Exit, that you're just flipping cards in order to solve puzzles, but it doesn't feel that way. When I was flipping the cards in the Nautilus, I felt like I was in the submarine. It was cool. It's me from the future. So you've been seeing the perfect board game ratings up there. If you disagree with any of those, you can just go there and input exactly what you would rate it as, and it will balance itself out. That's it. All right, back to the past. All right, Mr. Jack Pocket Edition. This is super cool. I love 19th century themed stuff, so I thought this would be for me, but I haven't actually played it. It's more like a travel type game to me, and it's made for 2 players, so I'd have to modify it to play it as one. I don't have a major desire to do that. So for people who like to take out quick games or quick travel games, one of you plays as a detective, one of you plays as Jack the Ripper, which kind of bothers me. I know I've got lots of things that bother me, but that's how I am. But yeah, so you just lay out tiles and you either try to catch Jack or escape. And I haven't played it, so I'd like it to go to somebody who will play it. I wouldn't recommend it for solo players. All right, Nemo's War. This game is art, and it is made for solo players. In fact, it is a solo game. The additional mode, the cooperative mode, is an extra. All right, so it's made to be played alone. The artwork is by Ian O'Toole. It is beautiful, okay? And as far as replayability, this thing's got it. So you're playing Captain Nemo versus an Imperial invasion. You are moving around the seas, rolling dice to determine the winner of various battles, making upgrades to your ship. You're also suffering damage, trying to keep your crew's morale up. It happens over 3 acts, I believe, with a prologue and an epilogue, so it's like a drama. All the cards have little stories to them. There are assistants that have special abilities that you can use. You're collecting treasures. It's a great game, but I'm not going to get it to the table again. And I think it's because I'm not much of a dice gamer. I love dice in certain elements, but this is heavily reliant on dice. So it's stressful. Like you may have a good run and you may lose everything based on a dice roll. If that is your thing, because it's well designed. This isn't luck as in like the game isn't well designed. No, this game is designed to mitigate that luck, but you got to have a really good strategy. It's stressful. So I want this to go to someone who really enjoys that because it's a work of art. And for the big boy, okay, Fortune and Glory. Oh my goodness. Fortune and Glory, the cliffhanger game. I did a video review of this along with 2 other adventure games. This is a cool game, super awesome, really 80s artwork. It's like pulp style, but 80s. So I really liked that. And honestly, this is a fun adventure game. You're basically Indiana Jones running around on the map, fighting Nazis, fighting mobsters, running into temples, getting into trouble, trying to get all the fortune and glory you can. But it's fiddly. Oh my goodness. There's a lot to keep track of. So if you're cool with that, if you don't mind having a large setup with a lot of stuff to track and move around, then this is great fun. I just know I'm never going to get it to the table again. I'm only keeping it for the artwork. And so I'd rather somebody actually have it that really enjoys it, because but it's fiddly, and I've learned recently I don't like fiddly. No thank you. All right. Mr. Jack. So the last was Pocket Edition. This is the full edition, and this is awesome. I could see, other than the theme, I could see playing a two-player game. One of you plays as the police officer, the other is Mr. Jack, but it's very cartoony looking, even though it's Jack the Ripper trying to escape. That's disturbing. But hey, the thing is, it's a two-player game, and I haven't had the... I was going to make a solo mode for it, and I just haven't gotten around to it, and I just don't think I will. So, super cute for a two-player family. What else we got? Oh, now this game I love. All right. Don't worry, I've got some with solo modes coming. Celestia I bought before I learned about solo gaming. This was actually the game that got me into board gaming, along with these two little expansions. I visited a family in Scotland and some of their friends, and they introduced me to Celestia, and it was so much fun. It's a push your luck game where you're passengers and captains on an airship, and you're flying to these interesting and beautiful locations to catch treasure, and you have to push your luck and decide, all right, can we make it over whatever obstacle before we get to the next place? And if you're right and you do, you keep everything. And if you're wrong, the ship goes boom, you go down and you lose everything. And there's some bluffing involved as each person takes turn being the captain. And you can be like, look, this is the obstacle. I've got what we need in order to beat it. And you might be telling the truth, you might not, depending on your goals. So this is a beautiful game. The artwork will absolutely captivate you. The trouble with it is that I was keeping it in my library so that I could play it with others, because it does not have a solo mode, and I haven't had the desire to make one. So it's sat on the shelf for 2 years, and this is too good a game to sit on a shelf. It needs to go to someone who will play it. So if you're looking for a solo mode, this is not for you. Family game with the two expansions. This one adds like a lifeboat to it, so you can go by yourself, and a little help. I don't actually recall what happens with this one. I don't even know that I played with this expansion, so I can't speak to that. But that's Celestia, and I'm looking forward to that going to an appreciated home. Are you ready for this one? This is probably like the Crew, where I'm going to get hate mail. I hope not. But Lost Ruins of Arnak. I was so excited about this game because I liked these adventure-style games like Fortune and Glory, and it turns out I have 4 adventure games, and 3 of them are going. So I guess that is not my thing. All right, Lost Ruins of Arnak. Artwork is so good, and the gameplay is fantastic. I played this with my foster son, and he loved it. We had a good time together. I played it solo 8 times on both sides of the board. There's an easy side and a hard side, and you're just exploring the Lost Ruins of Arnak. You're running into guardians as you explore the land, and you're doing research off to the side to learn more and ultimately gain points. However, this game feels very empty to me, theme-wise, very dry. And I know there is a new expansion out now that adds characters with, what do we call that when they're not equal abilities? What are those? Asymmetrical, thank you. Asymmetrical abilities. I have not played that expansion. Expedition Leaders is what it's called. Desire to, and I know I'm never going to put this on the table again, because there are other mid-level games that I would rather play. So really well done, but if you're buying a game for a theme, this game is dry. It's really dry. But the art and the mechanics are spectacular. All right. And it's not too hard. Again, it was my foster son was 14, and he picked it up, no problem. And he's not a gamer. All right. Next goes Aliens Bug Hunt. Can you see it on? Yeah. Aliens Bug Hunt. This is cool. This is cool. This is a lower priced game, which is nice if you're looking for an aliens theme. I don't like the artwork. I do like alien games, even though I don't like gruesome stuff. I know it doesn't make sense, but the part that I like usually doesn't include that. This one, the art, just, I don't care for it. And the other downside is the aliens on your map. So it's a, okay, first, so it's a modular board where you play as one of 4 characters. Or if you do like me in solo, you play as all 4 characters. So I played as 4 characters, and you are exploring this space that you build as you explore. So it starts out there as like no board, and you keep adding these tiles to reveal more of the board, and aliens get placed randomly throughout that, and you may have to run into them and fight them and either win or lose. Each of your characters has special abilities, so that part is fun, but the aliens are black cubes. They're not actually aliens, so you have to use your imagination, and that's fine. It's good for us to use our imagination. But I had no issues with the gameplay. I did feel it played maybe a little bit long, but I also was playing with controlling 4 characters. So that's reasonable that it was long, I guess. It wasn't too difficult at all. I think I won 2 out of the 3 games, and I kept trying to make it harder and harder. So it's good, but compared to Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the Core, or Alien, Fate of the Nostromo, I'm just never going to put this on the table again. So it is a fun game, and I recommend it to solo players. Check it out. It's a lot cheaper than the other Aliens. Other than Fate of the Nostromo, that might be the same price. All right. This one's hard for me to let go. Museum. All right. This game is beautiful to look at, and I have played it solo. It doesn't come with the solo mode. They created a solo mode as part of a Kickstarter campaign, and if you're wondering what Kickstarter is, I'd like to go into that in a future video, but basically it's just a place where a lot of board games get funded. And so as a bonus, if enough people backed the game, they included a solo. Well, I got this too late. I bought this at a game store and didn't come with solo mode, so I looked online for it, and it takes some work to find it. I emailed the publisher, and it's ultimately now it's not housed on the site. At least it wasn't as of a couple months ago. But you have to go somewhere on Board Game Geek, and it's in a file. So it's not easy to find, but I found the solo mode, and I printed out the solo mode cards, because there's a special deck for the solo opponent on cardstock. I sent it to the UPS store, and they made it look nice. And the solo mode's terrible. I'm sorry, but you have to think for your solo mode opponent. And I don't like that in a solo mode. I don't want to have to think what's best for them and most inconvenient for me, because then the whole fun of the game, it feels like the whole unreality that I'm immersing myself in gets broken when I have to think for my opponent. So maybe I played it wrong. I only played the solo mode twice. I played once regular, and it was a little too easy. So then I played it advanced, and it wasn't that it was too hard. It was that I had to think way too much for my opponent. However, I played the 2-player version all by myself, controlling one museum here and one museum here, and just seeing which one ended up with the most points. That was fun. That's not really how you're supposed to play. So here's what I'm thinking. This game is so cool. You are curating a museum. It's a puzzle that you're building on your board, and the puzzle is so fun. Buy this for 2 or more players. Okay? Don't buy it for solo. It just wasn't well designed, in my opinion. But 2 to 4 players, buy it. Oh my goodness. And this is the expansion, or one of them. There are many. The Black Market. I was so frustrated by the solo mode I didn't replay it with this. So I've never played with the black market. But this is a fantastic game if you're not playing solo. All right, let's do Hail Hydra, get this out of the way. I bought this. I thought it would be fun to play with friends. There's no way that I know of to make this solo. So I'm not going to play it, and I'm not going to get it to the table with my group of friends, so I want someone else to have it. Easy. If you want to know something about it, I guess I should tell you something. It's what drew me to it is the designer actually worked on the set of Survivor show, and he actually created one of the games that the contestants played in. So he wanted to make a board game that not that re-implemented this show Survivor, because like he said, you can't re-implement that in a 2-hour experience. It's not possible. But he did want to implement that idea of voting off, which is what drew me to this and makes me want to keep it. But again, I haven't played it in a year and a half, so someone else needs to have it that will be able to use it. But anyway, you get to vote each other off, but he did something cool where when you vote each other off, it does switch your role for a moment, but you're still active in the game and you come back in and reshuffle. So he dealt with the whole player elimination thing, which can be a real downer for a group. So I want to play this. I really do. So I hope somebody takes this, has a good time, and if you have it and you want to play it over like Vorpal board or something, by all means, hit me up, let me know. All right, this one, Brass Lancashire. I believe this one comes with a solo mode. I'm quite certain. When I bought it, I made sure. Nope. But it has a fan-made solo mode. All right, so Brass Lancashire. I got this because it was in clearance, and it looked so cool. And the solo mode looks good too. I have not played it. Yep, I have not played it, and I know I haven't even unboxed it. All right, so you can see it's damaged, but that's because I bought it clearanced. That's why I bought it, because brass doesn't appeal to me, but I was like, you know what, I'll try it. And for some reason, despite it being beautiful, I love the board, the artwork, the time period, but I have not brought it to the table. And it's got a solo mode, a fan-made solo mode. If I haven't got it to the table by now, I'm not going to do it. So this needs to go to somebody who enjoys playing brass. And brass is, from what I understand, an economic game. I have not played it. I'm not an expert on that. Turns out economic style games don't really draw me. So, lesson learned. I'm going to pass it on. Brass Lancashire. From what I hear, Birmingham is the more popular, but Lancashire, I think, was maybe a little harder, a little more. Something's a little bit more difficult about Lancashire. But again, I have not played any brass games, so doing the best I can. Sheriff of Nottingham. I saw this on Geek and Sundry. It's a YouTube channel with Will Wheaton, and he played this with 3 or 4 other people, and it looks so fun. It looked so cool. It's a game where one of you plays as the Sheriff of Nottingham, and you have the other people at the table are trying to get goods into Nottingham, and you as the sheriff are there to make them pay whatever taxes they owe. So your job as the other players, though, is you're trying to sneak illegal goods, but they're not like really contraband. It's more like cheese and apples. And you're trying to sneak things through so that you don't get taxed on it. And the sheriff has to decide whether you're telling the truth or not. And if they guess right, then you pay a penalty. And if they're wrong, then as the sheriff, you pay the penalty. And everybody takes turn as the sheriff. So it's a bluffing game that just looks so fun. So I picked it up. I was like, you know what, I'll get my friends to play this. And I'm just learning it's really difficult to get a group to do that. So I want someone else to enjoy this. In the meantime, I do have a party game called Love Letter, which I'd like to look at sometime. And that's been a hit. I enjoy that. But it's just not going to get to the table, and it should. because it's a cool game. This is the old edition. There's a new one that allows up to 6 players as well. So if you look for this, just go ahead and get the new one. But yeah, there it is. And finally, I believe this is the last game. This is the last game. I still got battery. Okay. Kill Shakespeare. Kill Shakespeare. If you've seen any of my shorts or Instagram, you know something of this. I bought this because it was a little bit discounted. And I like Shakespeare, former English teacher. The premise is super cool. It's based on a comic book series where the characters, like Juliet, didn't actually kill herself. She attempted to, but it failed. She slipped away and became like this military leader. And there's all these other Shakespeare characters, Othello and many others. And what they do is they are all uniting in a rebellion against Lady Macbeth and King Richard. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Maybe it was King Henry. I'm not sure. It's one of those kings. Anyway, they're the villains. And they are trying to take over Shakespeare land, basically, and win by conquest over the lands, and also win by diminishing the hope of the people. As the resistance, your job is to raise the hope of the people and minimize the influence of the enemy. And it does play solo. It comes with a solo mode. I'm pretty sure I didn't... Oh, wait, no. It's a fan-made solo mode. Okay. I didn't even know. Oh, wait, no. It's not a fan-made solo mode. I'm sorry. This is how I did it. It's a cooperative game, and so it does tell you in the instructions how to play it by yourself, but because it's a cooperative game, you play it the exact same way as you would with 2 players. It doesn't change anything. So even though it says 2 to 4, it plays solo. And it plays well, but this is a fiddly game, kind of like Fortune and Glory. It doesn't look like it, but there are a lot of things to keep track of, and I didn't feel that it was done well. All right, so I wanted to like it, but I didn't even finish the first game. About 2/3 of the way through the game, I was like, you know what? I'm not enjoying this. I spent a week learning the rules. I'm just done with it. But if you're okay with fiddly, this is a cool game. Components, everything is good except for there are these little cardboard squares that should be cubes. It really lowers the quality of the game having these little cardboard pieces. So I've had this sideways the whole time. I do not recommend this for solo mode at all unless you're a fan of the comic Kill Shakespeare. Check this video about a cool tool that lets you stream your game library with friends and family. I love you all. See you next time.